we only have strength in one direction at a time. Okay? And that's just based on the way that our muscles work. I'm either strong here or I'm strong here. Right? I'm not strong in both directions. Or I'm strong lifting, but I'm not strong down. That's kind of just the way the muscles work. And I'll just give you an example of that. If you're in my guard and you're putting your hands on my biceps, right? And you don't want to allow me to touch your face. So don't let me touch your face. I can't touch his face, but he has no control of my arms here. If you don't want to allow me to, don't let me lift my arms up. Don't let me lift my arms up. Good.
Yeah, that stinks.
Okay. So his control is really only one directional. So if he doesn't want to let me lift my arms up, he doesn't have any control of my touching his face. If you don't let me touch your face, I can't touch his face. But he has no control of me moving my arms up and down. Okay? So this is a really, really important idea and concept to understand, because in Jiu-Jitsu, now that we know that there's only strength usually in one direction at a time, we are always trying to attack the opponent where they're weak. I'm never fighting against the strength, right? I'm always going and trying to find the angles where my opponent is weak. Does that make sense? Yeah? So if you lay down. So we have a really common problem in Jiu-Jitsu. And it's kind of sad to see people doing this so often, but a lot of times we get mounted on our opponent, and now his defense is what we call the lay and pray. Does anyone know what that defense is? It's where he lays on his back and he prays for someone to come and help him. Right? And so what happens is sometimes they put their hands together like this, or sometimes they grab like this. And so what happens is now he doesn't want me to be able to attack his arms. It's really hard to get an arm lock from here. A lot of times his arms are up even closer by his neck so that I can't really attack his neck, right? They're keeping their hands in. And this kind of becomes frustrating, yeah? Because you're like, oh man, I'm trying to do jiu-jitsu, but now, and this would never ever work in the context of fighting, right? Doesn't exist, because with punches involved, he's not doing this. So to deal with this situation, or even this situation, sometimes people do this cross collar grab, right? So all of these situations will be dealt with the Americana, okay? And so just put your hands together. I'm going to show. So when he has his hands together, the first thing is I will always attack the top arm, okay? Now, because if I grab his wrist and I try to lead with my elbow right now, my elbow will just run into his body, so I'm not going to be able to do that, okay? So now what I do is I always have my monkey hand ready, but what I'm going to do is I slide my elbow underneath his wrist. Go, move your arm. Move your arm. Hold tight. So what I'm doing is I'm using the point of my elbow and I'm creating a wedge underneath his wrist. I'm attacking his wrist with my elbow. Okay? So I go here. I'm not coming down on it. What I do is I scoop my elbow underneath. Now, once my elbow is underneath his arm, I just lean my body weight. Go, move your arm. My hand is a monkey hand, so it's always there waiting, because I know one of the things he can try to do is stretch his arm, right? And so from here, once I get underneath, once I put my weight into my elbow, my hand is already ready to catch his arm to break. Okay? So if he grabs it with a cross collar grip, yes, like some people do this, right? Have you guys seen that? Yeah. Sometimes, right? Where people hold on tight like this. Same thing. I attack the wrist. Okay? So we always go for the top arm, right? And I come here, and the goal for me is just to scoop underneath, and then I put my weight. So there's no strength. It's body weight. It's body against arm. That's a winning battle for me, right? Because we always have to think in the context of what if I'm fighting someone bigger and stronger? If I'm fighting someone bigger and stronger, my arm against his arm is never going to work. No way. But if I use my body, feel how easy that was?
Yeah.
It's effortless. All right, so let's play around now. Now that you guys know how to lead with your elbow, now what we're going to do is we're going to play with our elbows when they're in tight here like this. And I'm just going to come here, scoop underneath. And my hand is already ready to catch. Okay? 1, 2.